100 secrets and Easter eggs found in Fortnite Battle Royale. For instance, did you guys know that at the Crime City point of interest, there is a brand new location and restaurant known as the Pig in Pinch, which is a new restaurant based around pigs and seafood. As you guys can see, there is a giant mascot and logo on the roof of a pig wearing a chef's hat, and this is actually Epic's way of foreshadowing an upcoming Battle Pass skin that is going to be based off of this brand new restaurant, which as you guys can see here is directly from one of our Fortnite skin survey skins that features a pig dressed as a butcher, which is obviously directly connected to the Pig and Pinch brand new franchise that was introduced at the start of Chapter 6 Season 2, and this is just one of many Easter eggs, hidden rewards, and skins that are found in Fortnite. This is also very similar to the Kappa Kappa Pickle factory and farm that we were introduced to back in Chapter 6 Season 1. Started out as a small humble farm, and after a few updates quickly expanded into a giant factory operation. And just like the Pig and Pinch restaurant, the Kappa Kappa Pickle factory also had a giant icon and logo that now we all know is connected and linked to our new favorite Battle Pass skin that is none other than Big Dill, the musician and rapper introduced in Season 2. So Pig and Pinch with this brand new icon is again foreshadowing an upcoming skin that is going to be featured either in the item shop or in next season's Battle Pass. And it seems like Fortnite loves using these new restaurants and chains introduced to the Fortnite island to also tease upcoming skins, cosmetics, and rewards. And before we show you guys the rest of the 98 Easter eggs and secrets found in Fortnite Battle Royale, we do send a gift to a lucky subscriber in every single video here on the channel. If you guys want a chance to be gifted any of the brand new skins, collaborations, or the upcoming Battle Passes, all you have to do is drop a like, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, and leave your epic usernames down in the comments below. And a big shout out to everyone using code Nerpah1 in the item shop. You guys are legends, so thank you so much. Diving into some of the Easter eggs and secret map changes found in Chapter 6 Season 2, if you guys make your way over to the Lone Wolf Lair, which is obviously the mansion belonging to our boy Fletcher Kane, alongside having a vault location where his boss could potentially spawn, there is a few Easter eggs if you make your way down to the bottom of the basement. The first of which is that you will find the giant face statue that we saw at the bottom of Lost Lake last season can now be found in Kane's basement as a collectible, and this thing is actually massive. We don't know how this guy got this thing out of the lake, but it is cool that it's still available to be seen on Fortnite's island, especially because we had no explanation last season as to what this even was. Some more Easter eggs found at Lone Wolf Lair do belong to Kane himself, and they're actually paintings that you guys can find on the wall that showcase Kane Fletcher in different poses, but you guys might realize right away that these paintings and poses are actually directly inspired and copies of iconic scenes from Leonardo DiCaprio movies, which are obviously The Great Gatsby and The Django Unchained, which, as a side note, if you guys haven't seen either of those, I would definitely recommend giving them a watch. Banger movies, but these scenes in particular from the films have been used for memes and GIFs for many, many years. So of course, Fortnite added some Easter eggs and made our boy Fletcher Kane basically do copy poses of Leonardo DiCaprio, which I thought was pretty funny. We could also see over at Shiny Shafts that there will be a secret tunnel opening, most likely added in our next downtime update dropping March 11th. But if you guys go into replay mode and go down where this little excavator is located, you can actually morph through this wall and it reveals a massive tunnel system that will be getting added in our next update. It's actually very long and there is a bunch of additional chest spawns in here, and this opens up the possibility, especially at this point of interest, for many more secret tunnels and areas of the map to secretly get added as the updates start to roll out throughout the rest of Chapter 6 Season 2. We could also see that the construction on the Shining Span point of interest and bridge is officially complete, and the bridge is back to 100% built after our boy Godzilla absolutely wrecked it and destroyed it last season when he was added to the game. And we did see that once Godzilla was removed, construction started happening, but it appears that it is officially done and is now safe to cross the bridge again. And finally, you guys can still see that the Great Turtle along with his girlfriend are still on the island, which I know a lot of people are going to enjoy. The Great Turtle made a lot of friends throughout last season, but unlike last season where he was moving around, data miners did confirm that the turtle along with his girlfriend are not going to be moving. This is their final location for Chapter 6 Season 2, so him and his girl can finally enjoy some deserved peace and quiet and not have to move around the map getting constantly disturbed by us. Also, make sure to add us on Snapchat for more giveaways, daily news, and special item shop gifting. But if you guys manage to find the Fletcher Kane boss and take him out, he will drop the Baron Double Down Mammoth Pistol, which allows you to shoot twice before having to reload, so it is pretty powerful, along with the Unstoppable Medallion, which will knock back enemies that you sprint into and also increase your sprint speed. So this will drastically speed up how fast you can move around the island, and this is definitely going to be one of the more sought after medallion abilities every single game. Along with that, he will drop a Chug Jug to reheal after you fight him, but based on all the mythic bosses we're going to be showing in this video, Fletcher Kane is actually one of the easiest to take out in my opinion. The second mythic boss on Fortnite Season 2's island is our boy Shogun X, which a lot of people are confused about considering after last season's live event we did see him get eliminated and removed from the island, so it's kind of strange that he did return. But just like last season, Shogun X's mythic boss will spawn on the floating islands that spawn onto Fortnite's map halfway through the game. So kind of similar to Fletcher, you're gonna have to find these islands, and the spawn location won't always be the same every match you play. But if you guys do find Shogun X and manage to take him out, he will drop the mythic version of the Hollow Twister Assault Rifle, one of the better ARs this season in my opinion, along with the Super Shield Medallion, which will spawn a Bubble Shield Jr. around you anytime you are using a healing item for extra protection. The only thing that's bad about this is if you are trying to heal and be stealthy, having a big bubble shield spawn around you might give up your location, so there is some trade-offs for this medallion. And just like Fletcher Kane's mythic boss, he will also drop a Chug Jug to reheal after you fight him, which Shogun X is definitely a little bit tougher to take out than Fletcher Kane. And for the third and final mythic boss that you can find actively on Fortnite's island, it is our boy Subzero, which interestingly enough is not technically a mythic boss, but just an NPC that is located on a hillside right outside of the Kane's mansion, which is known as Lone Wolf Lair. If you guys go up to him, you can talk to him. He will give you shield. There is special dialogue, but you can fight Sub-Zero. And just a heads up, this guy, although he's not a mythic boss, is by far the hardest one to fight and take out because he does use his new Sub-Zero combat kit Ice Fist as weapons. And you guys can see here that if you do engage and try to take him out, he will fight back. He is very powerful. Each melee does a lot of damage, and he's also very, very quick. So you're going to want to make sure you are pretty well looted before trying to take out Sub-Zero's new NPC. But if you guys do manage to take Sub-Zero out, he will drop the Sub-Zero combat kit weapon, which although isn't a mythic, still comes in a purple rarity and does a ton of damage, so it's definitely worth it. It has some abilities built in as well, which can be used for mobility around the island. And now that you guys know where all the new mythic bosses and weapons are located, we could dive into the brand new vault locations, which were drastically revamped in Chapter 6 Season 2, but they do hold some special medallions and abilities that you guys want to make sure you can take advantage of. So in total, there is 5 vault locations currently on the Season 2 island. They are located at Masked Meadows, the Metro, which is the train driving around, Lone Wolf Lair, Crime City, and finally Seaport City. These are all the points of interest that have the main 5 vault locations, and in order to break into these vaults, you will need the new thermite grenade, which you can find around Fortnite's island in the go bags. They are pretty easy to acquire, and unlike prior seasons where you just went up and used a key card to access it, you actually have to plant a thermite grenade and go through a few different waves of NPCs spawning. So it's kind of like a mini boss event where you need to take out all the enemies while the thermites slowly break through the vault. But once you are able to break in, these vaults are actually very valuable. And the main reason is because these vaults all have the brand new Dilbit medallions located in them, which unlike the mythic medallions that the bosses that we looked at earlier in the video give you, these don't actually give you any special abilities, but the Dilbit medallions can be used at the brand new black market locations that are also found around Fortnite's island. There's 3 in total, currently located and known as the Boom Hole, the Rogue Repairs, and finally the Blackwood. And you guys can actually see little icons on your Fortnite map whenever you open it, so in case you guys are struggling to find where these are located, it will show icons once you obtain the Dilbit medallions from these vaults. And what's really cool about these black market locations is these allow you to use gold to buy different rarities and weapons that you can't normally find in the traditional loot pool by opening up chests. And what's awesome is if you guys do acquire these Dilbit medallions, these will allow you to obtain mythic and exotic versions of these special weapons. So this is another way to obtain a few different mythic weapons and higher rarities that are not available in the normal loot pool, nor can you get from the other mythic bosses. So that's why the Dilbit medallions are so valuable. And if somehow you guys manage to break into all 5 vaults, the most you can obtain in one game is 10, which would allow you to buy up to 10 different mythics. So there's literally so many per lobby that you can't even hold all the loot that it is potentially able to give you. Now it is worth noting that there is a 6th vault known as the Armored Truck Vault, but unfortunately, unlike the other main 5, once you break into this one using the thermite grenades, it will not have any of the Dilbit medallions, but it will drop you a mythic version of the suppressed pistol with a ton of bonus heals, which is obviously very useful for getting your loot up, especially if you're trying to use this early game to loot up initially. So the first Easter egg added in Fortnite's new update is found and located over at the new Kappa Kappa Pickle Factory, which, in case you guys have not been following along, its background story actually started Chapter 6 Season 1 as a humble Kappa Kappa pickle farm that in recent updates has expanded operations into a full-blown factory, which you gotta respect the hustle. But what people don't realize is that there is a secret skin actually being grown at this pickle factory. If you guys make your way to the giant tubs outside and look at the one that is located between bays number 2 and 3, you'll realize that one pickle in particular is absolutely massive and like 10 times larger than any other pickle that is being grown at this factory. And people quickly realize that this is actually going to be growing into a new Pickle Peely skin, which is inevitably going to end up being the new face and mascot of the Kappa Kappa Pickle Factory, which is obviously here to stay in Fortnite Chapter 6 as their operations are going so well. Data miners found early sketches and concepts of this Peely Pickle skin, and the fact that they are actually growing it in the factory itself makes a lot of sense, and that is also explaining why this one pickle in particular is so giant and no one really realized. Our next Easter egg has to do with the fact that Godzilla is officially no longer available to unlock and use in Fortnite as a mythic boss, which means he will no longer be causing mass destruction and wreaking havoc to the Fortnite island, which is why if you guys make your way over to the Shattered Span point of interest, the giant bridge that we all know and love on the Fortnite island, you guys will see that operations and repairs are already underway, and there is a bunch of different cranes and operations going to fully fix and repair the Shattered Span bridge that obviously was destroyed when Godzilla made his way to the Fortnite island a few weeks ago. And as another Easter egg to this already ongoing map change and storyline, if you guys look on the top of one of the yellow cranes currently fixing the bridge, you can find 2 white little robots that appear to be having fun. One of them is actually doing a handstand. I don't really know if these are the 2 gentlemen responsible for fixing the bridge and maybe they're just taking a break, or if these little robots are just there to have fun and cause mischief anyways, but this was cool that Fortnite subtly added this in the update. No one really realized. Another fan favorite character added in the beginning of Chapter 6 Season 1 is none other than our boy Ryuji, or the Great Turtle, or the Giant Turtle, whatever you guys want to call him, who was added at the start of Chapter 6 Season 1, and every update has slowly moved around and changed locations on the island, and even at one point mid-season, we actually completed some quests that helped our friend Ryuji because he did have darkness and evil soul thorns that were growing all over his shell. But luckily, we helped him get those removed, and after moving around a few times in this last update, our boy Ryuji finally found his long-lost love and can now be seen residing in the bay next to his new female friend, where there is now officially 2 giant turtles. We don't actually have a name just yet for his new female friend, but if you guys have any cool or funny ideas, leave them down in the comments below. The community is looking for a name, and I think that is great that our friend the great turtle finally found his love, and he's now chilling, not having to move around the island anymore. And although the story of the great turtle ended with a very heartwarming ending, we unfortunately have some bad news, and that is the fact that if you guys make your way over to the Masked Meadows point of interest and go down to the underground secret bunker, you'll find that there is a few of the different elemental sprites that most of you guys all love this season as they are so cute, actually being held hostage and trapped in different cages. They kind of look like bird cages, to be honest. And even though these little sprites are magic and I figured maybe they could just squeeze through the cracks, it appears that they are officially trapped. And this is due to the fact that Dago, one of our new characters and NPCs on Fortnite's island, is currently doing experiments with these sprites. So as long as he is not harming or hurting them, I think it's okay. But unfortunately, these little cages they're trapped in are indestructible. So even if you guys make your way down there and check this out for yourselves, you can't make them escape, which is unfortunate. I already tried myself because I love the little sprites. So we'll have to wait and see what type of experiments and information Dago actually finds using these sprites currently held hostage. We actually have the Night Rose Demon boss, who is located over at the Demon's Dojo point of interest. Now, what's unique about the Night Rose boss is at first you fight Night Rose as an NPC like normal, but once you take her out, that is only the first of 3 different stages that you need to complete. After you take her out, the giant mask inside the Demon's Dojo POI will actually come to life and use her as a puppet, which you actually have to take out the mask by shooting its eyes and basically depleting all of its HP for stage 2. Now, after you manage to take the mask out and kill its eyes, stage 3 will actually revive Night Rose boss, and again, you have to take her out, depleting the rest of her health before you finally get her mythic abilities, which makes this boss pretty hard to take out itself. But once you manage to kill Night Rose in all 3 stages, she will drop the Night Rose medallion, which makes your weapon constantly load ammo, so you'll never actually have to reload, and is very helpful in a lot of fighting situations. She also drops the mythic version of the Precision SMG, which absolutely shreds enemies, and she drops the mythic version of the Void Oni mask, which creates a void tear and can teleport you around Fortnite's island. And this is one of the most powerful mythics, as you guys can actually use this to escape sticky situations, and you can even teleport while holding down teammates. So this is going to be used in a lot of clutch do or die situations, and there's going to be some amazing plays people use with this item, as it is very unique and we've never seen a mythic like it. And for the second boss is actually the traveling Shogun X boss, which does not have a dedicated point of interest he's located, as he's literally known as the traveling Shogun. So he actually just wanders around Fortnite's island, and you can find him by this little icon on the map. Now, what's interesting about this guy is, on top of being extremely hard to take out as he teleports around the map a lot and he has a ton of HP, is the fact that he actually drops 5 different mythic weapons, and every time you take him out, you're only going to get 1 mythic weapon, which means you never know what mythic weapon you're actually going to get every single time you take this guy out. It could be different in every game. But the 5 mythic weapons that the traveling Shogun boss drops are the mythic enhanced Ono shotgun, the enhanced Fury assault rifle, the enhanced twin fire auto shotgun, the enhanced surge fire SMG, and finally the enhanced sentinel pump shotgun, which interestingly enough is the only shotgun available in Fortnite chapter 6 that is able to do 200 damage as a 1 pump, which is pretty cool. It makes it very, very valuable and a really good mythic to try to go for. And for the third and final boss, it is Shogun X Demon boss, which is very similar to the traveling version, except this one does have his own point of interest, which is the floating red islands up in the sky. If you guys go up there and manage to take out the Shogun X Demon boss, he will drop the mythic Typhoon blade, which is actually extremely powerful, so it's definitely worth going for, along with the Shogun X Fire Oni mask, which allows you to shoot fiery and exploding screaming masks that actually lock on and track players. So this is a very powerful mythic ability. And finally, you also get the Shogun X medallion, which gives you infinite stamina, and it allows you to go invisible while sprinting, which is extremely useful for rotating and sneaking up on squads, which is again really worth going and taking out the demon boss. And along with all these new mythic weapons and abilities, Fortnite also added a new class of items known as Boon masks, which the 4 versions are the Fire Boon, which allows you to reload weapons quicker, the Void Boon, which eliminating players will reveal other players nearby, which is actually very useful. We have the Wind Boon, which allows you to move faster while your pickaxe is in your hand, hand, and finally the water boon, which grants health and shield while swimming to yourself and everyone a part of your squad, which could be super clutch. Also, make sure to add us on Snapchat for more giveaways, daily news, and special item shop gifting. But diving into some of the new secret Easter eggs and hidden rewards that you guys might have overlooked at the launch of Chapter 6, as the island itself does have a lot of secrets for us to find. The first of which, and the one that you gotta look out for, is that the no dancing signs from OG Fortnite Chapter 1 have made a return to the island in a few different locations, but this time around, if you guys go up and dance on them, they'll actually boot you off the side of cliffs and launch you to your death by fall damage, which is something that obviously has never been in the game before, and I think it's hilarious that Fortnite is finally doing something about the players that go and defy the sign. Another cool Easter egg is located over at the Night Shift Forest point of interest, which is actually cursed to always be nighttime regardless of the time of day that the rest of the island is on. So even if the sun is out on the island, the moment you go to Night Shift Forest, the moon will come out and everything will get dark, and it's actually revealed by the Bushranger NPC who is located at this forest that he is trying to get the sun to come home and wake the forest up. So this might be connected to Fortnite's storyline later in Chapter 6 Season 1, and there might be changes coming to wake the forest up and bring the sun home, as there is some type of curse or evil energy over this Night Shift Forest. Another cool Easter egg is the fact that you can see Mount Fuji off in the distance from Fortnite's island, which is obviously connected to the upcoming Godzilla skin and boss, who, in case you guys didn't know, is the secret skin for Chapter 6 Season 1's new battle pass. Now obviously, Godzilla himself being the secret skin means we will not be able to unlock him until mid-January, but this Mount Fuji is 100% going to be responsible for how Godzilla appears on Fortnite's island, and this sets up for the possibility of a volcano or some type of mini live event to introduce Godzilla to the island, especially considering, on top of being a skin, Godzilla will be a new giant boss NPC that we can fight later in the season as well, and for all we know, there could be a volcanic eruption or something crazy to happen with this mountain off in the distance. Another Easter egg connected to Godzilla himself is actually the fact that now, with the Godzilla skin, along with kicks being in-game and the basketball emotes, you can now recreate exactly the original Godzilla meme from the comics, where it shows Godzilla himself playing basketball and going for a slam dunk, which obviously seeing Godzilla do that, especially in the original comics, is hilarious, but the fact that you're able to recreate this exactly with all the different types of cosmetics and collaborations Fortnite's done, I think it's hilarious, and just seeing Godzilla, the skin itself, doing emotes, wearing kicks, and doing all this funny stuff is great in my opinion, and I cannot wait for the skin itself to release later next month. But over at Castle Doom's point of interest, the new area on Fortnite Season 4's map, where Doombot's boss NPC is currently located, most people overlook this, but there is an Easter egg where Doombot's boss is sitting. His throne is actually made out of the Thing, which is a member of the Fantastic Four, which is basically his way of showing that he has defeated them and taunting everyone about it, but he is not the only Marvel hero that Dr. Doom is actually slayed, who also has Easter eggs hidden around the map to show us. As you explore Castle Doom's point of interest, you will also find a case display for Sue Storm, which appears empty, and that is because she is also known as the Invisible Woman, which is a little banter and joke from Epic Games themselves to show that she's in there but technically invisible, so you can't see her. You can also find Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, in another display case where he is stretched and trapped as a ball, and interestingly to note, he does move from time to time, signifying that he is not actually dead, but instead just trapped in ball form, which I think is basically worse. It's almost as if Dr. Doom is torturing him by not letting him leave, but he's also not dead, so he's still suffering from the pain. You can also find the heart of Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, in Doom's mantle fireplace as an unlimited flame keeping it warm, which is also pretty brutal to think about, that Dr. Doom literally had to rip this man's heart out just to keep his mantle lit. This guy couldn't really just go and chop his own firewood. And if you keep heading downstairs into the library, there are also two more displays showing some of our beloved friends he's also taken out. The first one actually shows the helmet of our friend Magneto from last season, who played a really big role in helping us stop Megalodon from destroying the island, and obviously this signifies that he also helped the other members of the Fantastic Four stop Dr. Doom from taking over this reality. So a big RIP to our hero and beloved friend Magneto. He obviously died in absolute valor trying to help us save Fortnite's beloved island. And across from him, in another display with half half of his board is Silver Surfer, which again is just another person from Marvel's universe that Doctor Doom seamlessly took out and kept part of his memorabilia as a trophy, which is kind of twisted when you think about it. But where it gets crazy is Doctor Doom has not only taken out Marvel superheroes, but also has some trophies and Easter eggs around the map to signify the villains from Marvel's universe that he also took out, which is pretty interesting considering he's a villain himself. For starters, towards the top of the Castle Doom point of interest in another display case, you will see the head of Ultron, which interestingly enough is a skin that we've never actually been able to use or purchase in Fortnite's storyline. He was featured and talked about back in the original Chapter 2 Season 4 Marvel season, but again, this does signify that in this reality, Ultron was there, but Doctor Doom took him out with a destroyed version of his helmet in display. And the other villain, and this one is truly scary, that you guys can find off the coast of Fortnite's island out in the water is a destroyed version of Galactus, where it looks like Doctor Doom actually shot his green beam right through the top of Galactus's head and essentially took him out. And it's always really cool to see this, but just how big Galactus is, even though he is sitting out in the middle of the ocean, it really does put into perspective, especially if you guys were not playing back in the original Chapter 2 Season 4 days, where Galactus was literally our main threat and villain for Fortnite's island, and it took all the Marvel Avengers and all the Fortnite characters combining together using our strengths to take him out, and Doctor Doom basically took him out himself, along with all the other Marvel heroes and villains that were very powerful back in the day. So this is essentially our way of seeing how powerful this version of Doom is in the Reality Zero that we're currently in. Now, over at the second new point of interest we got in Season 4, again belonging to Mr. Doom himself, known as Doom Status, there is also a secret Easter egg in a room located behind a bookcase downstairs that leads to a Tony Stark and Iron Man lair where everything is Iron Man themed and branded, almost like a shrine where a fanboy would keep all their Iron Man memorabilia. And you guys can go check it out for yourselves, but this room is filled with cutouts, posters of all the different versions of Tony Stark that we have seen, including unreleased versions and even an Iron Man theme lava lamp and pool table, which I thought was hilarious. Definitely a man cave for Iron Man's biggest fan, which is why this is also strange to be located at a Doctor Doom themed point of interest. Obviously, Doctor Doom is an enemy that probably wants to fight or take out Iron Man, so it's strange that he would have a shrine of him down deep below his lair. Also, as a bonus Easter egg hidden within this room, the TV is showing gameplay of the OG Marvel vs. Capcom game that includes Tony Stark fighting, which is a really cool nod to all the old heads out there and OG Marvel fans that might have played this game decades ago. Another cool Easter egg is for you guys that actually own the Moon Knight Marvel skin that dropped a few years ago. Just like in the Marvel movies and comics, only certain characters deemed worthy could wield Mjolnir, which is Thor's hammer, and still to this day, it's one of the few pickaxes in Fortnite that only works with certain skins because they're trying to stay accurate to the movies where only certain characters and skins are able to wield it, which means 99% of the skins in Fortnite you cannot use this pickaxe with. But after the Season 4 update went live yesterday, Moon Knight was updated and now seems worthy enough to wield Thor's hammer, and you guys can actually use these two together in a cosmetic set, which I thought was very interesting. Of all the different Marvel heroes and skins we've had in game, Moon Knight is the one that was updated and deemed worthy. Maybe this is a little nod into what's to come. Moon Knight might be a major character that helps us take out Doctor Doom, but we'll have to wait and see. Something else I also thought was really funny that most people are overlooking is again over at Doom's point of interest, where his security room is located with all the different monitors and security cameras showing that Doctor Doom is heavily overlooking the entire Fortnite island to make sure no one comes and ruins his control that he has on the island currently. But if you look closely on all these monitors, you will see different breaking news headlines in an order that, if you follow chronologically, tells a story about how there was protest happening in Latveria, which is Doom's home and origin, and instead of using violence like he's known for, he actually gives the protesters ice cream and it solves the conflict. You guys can see that after receiving the ice cream cones, they seem happy and all the protests and headlines stop. Again, a very subtle but funny Easter egg, and honestly, I love how many small details Epic added this season so far. Marvel is notorious for having tons of cameos, Easter eggs, and secrets for the dedicated fans to find, and it seems like Epic really put a lot of extra effort into making sure it captures that vibe with this Marvel season. Another one of these small details that most people would overlook or not even realize is a small painting of Doom on one of the walls at his point of of interest where he is riding a bear. And this is actually in direct reference to an OG comic where he actually did ride a giant bear at one point to get back to his home through an Antarctic slate of ice, which again is super funny, very random, and it's just a little nod to all the very nerdy OGs out there that will find these references and cameos from the comics. And before we showcase Scorpion's mythic spear hook along with all of the other exotic weapons coming to Fortnite, there is a brand new Easter egg and bonus hidden quest known as Join the Wolf Pack that was just discovered in Fortnite Season 2. And in order to complete this new hidden quest, all you need to do is go up to the giant wolf statue located outside of Crime City, but the kicker here is you need to have any of the 5 different wolf skins released in Fortnite Battle Royale equipped for this to actually activate, which is why it took people so long to find this Easter egg, which of course those 5 skins are the Burning Wolf, Dire, Wendell, Lone Wolf, or Andy Fagerson. And if you guys have this equipped, you walk up here and it will complete this secret quest super easy. There's also a brand new exploit and glitch that you guys can utilize in game that allows you to teleport from one end of a zipline to another immediately, which isn't too crazy, but this can definitely help you get out of sticky situations or just get away from danger if you guys are trying to rotate around Fortnite's island. And all you have to do in order to do this glitch is have the kneecapper, activate the charge ability, and hop on the zipline, and for some reason it will immediately teleport you to the other end, which, like I said, can be useful for evading danger or rotating. But diving right into the brand new exotic weapons and abilities coming in Fortnite Season 2, we have 4 in total with an early showcase of all of them. The first of which is the SMG and Dynamite Exotic, which isn't the official name just yet. Again, these were all found in Fortnite's files a little early, but as you guys can see by this early gameplay, this exotic weapon will allow you to throw C4 using the left trigger while also shooting your SMG with the right trigger, which is a dual wield weapon. And what's crazy is people realize you can throw the C4 and shoot it mid-air with the SMG, allowing you to detonate and explode it a lot quicker than if you were to just normally use a typical C4 item in Fortnite. So this is going to set up for tons of possibilities in different ways that you can use this, and I think the really good players are definitely going to be able to utilize this and be very powerful. The second exotic coming in Fortnite Season 2 is known as the Jump Rocket Launcher, which appears to shoot normal RPG rockets, but the catch here is that these rockets will also have an impulse grenade type effect within the blast radius, so you can actually launch yourself by shooting it at the ground, and I'm guessing that if you shoot this at enemies, it will also launch them as well with the same type of impulse grenade effect. The only difference here compared to a normal RPG, along with the impulse effect built in, is that the damage to players and structures from the RPG itself is definitely lessened compared to a normal rocket that you would find in older seasons, mainly because this is most likely going to be used for the impulse grenade effect itself for rotating or trying to cause fall damage to other players. For the third exotic coming to Fortnite Season 2, it is known as the Hop Rock SMG, which is a scoped SMG that actually allows you to get the Hop Rock effect after firing every bullet. Again, this is going to be very useful and handy for mobility, escaping sticky situations, or just whenever you're getting into a fight. I don't think the enemy's going to expect you to be able to jump so high, so shooting someone while jumping and evading is going to give you an upper edge, and you most likely will be able to use this in combination with some of the other exotics like the Jump Rocket Launcher. Imagine using this SMG, getting the Hop Rock effect, and then switching over to the Jump Rocket Launcher, shooting it on the ground and launching yourself across the map for super good mobility and rotations. The possibilities with some of these new exotics are going to be endless. And for the fourth and final exotic coming to Fortnite Season 2, it is actually not a weapon but an ability known as the Slap Chug Jug, which just like the normal Chug Jug will work and give you HP as you use it. The only difference to the exotic version is the usage will go from 200 to 400, so you'll be able to heal a lot more, and it will also give the slap effect after using it, which again is just great for faster movement, mobility, rotating, and just getting out of sticky situations, which a lot of these exotics seem to be really good for. And for those of you guys curious, unlike prior seasons in Fortnite where you found exotic weapons by killing and taking out random NPCs, these are all going to be sold at the new black market locations where you can already find different mythic weapons and some other exotics already in the loot pool by using, of course, the brand new Dill Bits currency to purchase these from the black markets, which is really cool because they'll be a lot more obtainable. Also, make sure to add us on Snapchat for more giveaways, daily news, and special item shop gifting. And it was confirmed by data miners at the start of Chapter 6 Season 2 that our boy Scorpion from Mortal Kombat was going to be added later in this season as an item shop skin and release, which a lot of us were already expecting with the inclusion of Sub-Zero in the Season 2 Battle Pass, who is also an NPC and has his own mythic weapon and ability. But the best part is that Scorpion is also going to be receiving his own mythic once he is released into the item shop in our next downtime update. We have all the early information on how this mythic is going to work. So the mythic is going to be based on the spear hook kunai that he is famous for using in Mortal Kombat, which I think everyone was already expecting. But the coolest part is that there will be an audio cue that says "get over here" every time you start attacking players using this mythic, which obviously is one of the most iconic catchphrases in all of Mortal Kombat. And if you guys have ever played the old Mortal Kombat games, this is literally the audio that plays whenever Scorpion does his finishing move using the spear hook kunai. And where it gets even better is that there is going to be a special and unique audio dialogue that will play that says "flawless victory" only if you get a full combo elimination while using this mythic on a player in game, which does confirm that this mythic will have a few different types of attacks and you will be able to do full combinations just like in Mortal Kombat. So that is really, really cool, and I cannot wait to see what some of these fight scenes in action is going to look like using this new spear hook. And where it gets extra spicy for me is that Mortal Kombat also has its own universe and lore, similar to what Fortnite has with the storyline that's always ongoing in the background. And if you guys didn't know, in Mortal Kombat lore, Sub-Zero actually kills the entire family of Scorpion, which is why Scorpion has a deep vengeance, and in the video game itself, they are mortal enemies because Scorpion has a huge hate for Sub-Zero killing his entire family, which I think is understandable, especially considering that they are from different factions and clans, with Sub-Zero being based around the cold and ice, while Scorpion is obviously based on fire and heat. So this is going to set up an interesting dynamic, and once Scorpion is released into Fortnite's item shop and his NPC and mythic boss is added to the island, it's going to be really interesting to see if these two NPCs will actually fight each other or if their mythic weapons and abilities will cancel each other out, since they are both from the universe and have different effects of hot and cold. And along with Scorpion's mythic spear hook kunai getting added in Fortnite's next update, we also have two other mythic weapons with early gameplay of how they're going to work that are also going to be coming to Fortnite Season 2 very soon. The first of which is known as the Pump and Dump Mythic, which is actually a pump shotgun dual wielded with an SMG. This is actually the dual wield combo that we saw featured in the Season 2 launch trailer, and interestingly enough, Fortnite made a mistake and actually added the Pump and Dump Mythic to the Team Rumble loot pool at the launch of Chapter 6 Season 2. So we have early gameplay in Battle Royale itself showcasing this new mythic weapon. Of course, this was not meant to be added right at the start of this season, and after a day, Fortnite did unfortunately remove it, so you guys aren't able to find it anymore, but it was confirmed by data miners that this dual wield SMG and pump shotgun mythic will be getting added in our first downtime update of Season 2, which is expected to be released on March 11th, and it will be coming to the normal loot pool for you guys to find at the black markets and purchase with the Dill Bits medallion. And for our second mythic weapon coming in our next update, it is known as the Outlaw Shotgun, which is a brand new double barrel based shotgun that, again, just like the Pump and Dump, was seen in the Season 2 launch trailer, held by none other than our boy Outlaw Midas, which is the secret skin for Chapter 6 Season 2's Battle Pass. And in that trailer itself, it was a gold variant since Midas was holding it. So this has a lot of people thinking that Outlaw Midas, once added as an NPC, will be his own mythic boss, and you'll be able to find a mythic version of this Outlaw Shotgun, which appears to be a revamped and slightly stronger version of the old double barrel shotgun that we've seen in older chapters of Fortnite Battle Royale. I think this will be a way better version since the old double barrels were pretty bad in a lot of people's opinions, and even if Outlaw Midas isn't added as a mythic boss, the Outlaw Shotgun will still be a mythic that, just like the Pump and Dump, you'll most likely be able to purchase at the black markets using Dilbit medallions, which I think a lot of people seem to really enjoy this new black market system, as it makes it a lot more easy to obtain all of these new exotic weapons, abilities, and mythics getting added to Fortnite Season 2, which out of all prior seasons, this season seems to have the most unique weapons and loot pools so far, which I'm very enjoying. So to obtain the first new mythic of 4 brand new mythics in this update, you guys need to head over to this location right outside the Reckless Railways point of interest. this is where Gwenpool's new boss NPC is currently located and roaming around the map, which is a little strange considering it is pretty far away from the raft point of interest, which is where she was before this update. But if you guys go up to her NPC, you can actually buy the new Gwenpool Mythic Dual SMGs for a total of 600 gold, which after using it and seeing how strong these things are is actually a really good deal for the amount of gold you have to spend. And for the second mythic, it is actually Shuri's Black Panther Claws, which again, you guys can find Shuri's brand new boss NPC that just added on this update over in the desert biome, which is a little strange. This must be where Shuri is conducting her research, but just like Gwenpool, if you go up to her NPC, you can actually buy the Black Panther Claw mythic for another 600 gold. And just as a bonus tip, if you guys are trying to recharge the mythic abilities quicker, the more you sprint, the faster it will recharge. So there's a little tip for you guys to use these more efficiently. Now the third mythic added was actually Magneto's gauntlets from chapter 5 season 3. So of course Magneto is dead. As you guys can see, his helmet, he was taken out by Dr. Doom in the beginning of the season, so there is no Magneto NPC to get these from. You basically just have to find them either on ground loot or through finding chest, but it is enabled and back into the loot pool. And for the fourth and final mythic, this one is very secretive and very rare, and that is Dr. Doom's new Ultra Doom Gauntlet, which basically has 4 mythic weapons and abilities all built into one. In order to obtain the Ultra Doom mythic, you actually need Doom's Isle to actually spawn in and take the place of Loot Island spawning in, which data miners found in the files. There is only a 5% chance that this can happen in one of your matches, which is why Doom's Ultra Gauntlet is so rare, because you're not technically able to unlock it and use it every single game. Luckily for you guys, we did find gameplay of people that were able to use this, and you guys can see that a special pop-up appears that says the Isle of Doom is rifting in. Embrace the power it holds. Once this spawns in, it'll spawn in just like the regular Loot Island later in the match. And once you get here and actually capture the point of interest, like capturing the normal flag, it will spawn a special cathedral that has Doom's face pop up. And if you go up and are chosen, it'll actually give you Doom's Ultra Mythic Gauntlet, which as you guys can see, once you use this, basically turns you into Thanos from the old endgame LTM. And you actually have 4 abilities all built into one, which makes you a super soldier, gives you tons of HP, and also enables siphons. You're very overpowered if you are one of the lucky ones to obtain this mythic. Of the 4 different abilities, 3 of them are ranged attacks, and then the 4th is obviously the one that allows you to shoot up into the sky, which makes the other attacks a lot more powerful. And this ability also allows you to take no fall damage, so you are really overpowered if you are lucky enough to have Doom's special Isle spawn in your lobby and you're the one to get them. So let me know down in the comments if you guys are lucky enough to already find this in one of your lobbies. I played a few different matches, but I have not been able to find this myself. It's also worth noting that the EMP grenades were unvaulted and added back to the loot pool, and the reason this is so good is because these actually disable the War Machine weapons and abilities, which I know a lot of people get really annoyed about because of how overpowered they actually are. So if you guys are fighting someone with the War Machine ability and it's damaging you, throw an EMP at them, it will disable it for quite some time, making it useless. This update also revealed that Dr. Doom has successfully finished building his new armor, which unfortunately for us is gonna allow him to harness Pandora's box's energy and actually utilize it a lot better this time. But made out of pieces of Pandora's box and Greek gods' relics, with this Dr. Doom armor, he can once again use Pandora's energy, basically taking out anyone who dares to go against him. It was also confirmed, thanks to new quest lines, that Dr. Doom's army is now officially complete. He actually had people join his army willingly, but then replace their brains with the Doombot chips, allowing him to fully control their mind and allowing him to basically do Order 66 himself. We also had new voice lines between Hope, Jonesy, the Oracle, and Dr. Doom in this update that reveals so much storyline information and lore as to what Shuri has been up to behind the scenes and our new plan to take out Dr. Doom, even though he was successfully able to build his new armor, making him more powerful.
Okay, our friend is just finishing up a supply run, but I've patched them in. Run us through the plan?
Shuri thinks she can reverse the energetic flow of the rift beacons with rift recalibrators. That would give us the power to send Doom through a controlled rift and away from the island.
Got it. So we need to get the parts to her, and then engage his Doombot to test the tech.
Sounds good to me. Let's do this.
You know, Shuri's a super genius in a super suit who traveled all the way across reality to fight Doom. And me? I didn't do any of that. Since the Oracle's prophecy, everyone's been looking to me as their leader. And on the outside, I try my best to play the part. But on the inside, I can't help but wonder if maybe the box picked the wrong girl. I have no powers. I'm no master tactician. I'm just a girl with some spray cans. The one thing I can do is try, as hard as I can, with everything I've got. I hope it's enough. It's time! Initiating rift recalibrators! What's happening? The recalibrators are short-circuiting! But why?
I've heard this island's cowards whimper your name in fear. Hope. You may be prophecy, but I am judgment. And when our weapons do finally cross in combat, I expect to find you wanting.
This place feels off.
If Doom cannot yet seize true perfection, he will create the illusion of perfection.
I don't know why I keep thinking you're gonna finish up a confusing thought with something less confusing.
Kind of a you problem. Most people pick up on what I'm putting down. But I can clarify that unsettling sensation you feel. It is Mysterio's illusory conjurings.
Well then, I guess we have an illusion to unillusionify.
That is not a word.
I'll make it catch on.
This is wrong. Who knows how long these innocent people had to live under Mysterio's thrall, robbed of their feelings, their free will, their personhood. Mysterio will pay for this.
Hey, there it is. There's that fire. You feel what you feel right now? That burning need to right an injustice? That's why we follow your lead. That's what's gonna take Doom down. I just know it.
Anyone who saw what happened here would feel the same way.
Nuh-uh, you're wrong. That fire inside you is special. You just have to believe that it is.
It doesn't seem like much, Jones.
Believe me.